Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Unity Orlando. Our opening statement this morning is in our unity of purpose. We are guided by divine wisdom and prospered by divine love. Let's all affirm that together. In our unity of purpose, we are guided by divine wisdom and prospered by divine love. All right, let's all close our eyes, take a nice deep breath in, and let's affirm that together in the silence. And so it is. And now if you'd like to stand and help us sing our joy song this morning, it's called Glory of Love. I'm the 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 glory of, I'm the glory of, I'm the glory of love. I'm the glory of, I'm the glory of, I'm the glory of love. I'm abundance of joy. I'm abundance of joy. I'm abundance of joy. I'm abundance of joy. I'm abundance of, I'm abundance of, I'm abundance of joy. I'm abundance of, I'm abundance of, I'm abundance of joy. Shine on the glory of God. Shine on the glory, shine on the glory of God. I'm the purpose of peace. 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 I'm the purpose of, I'm the purpose of, I'm the purpose of peace. I'm the purpose of, I'm the purpose of, I'm the purpose of peace. Shine on the glory of God. Shine on the glory, shine on the glory, shine on the glory of God. Shine on the glory, shine on the glory of God. All right, thank you very much. You may be seated.
Good morning, Unity Orlando. How's everybody doing today? Happy Mother's Day. Welcome in person and welcome online. I'm Susan Francis. I'm your platform speaker today. Do we have any visitors here that want to raise their hand? Oh, yay, welcome, welcome. There's a welcome packet for you. We're glad you're here. And of course, I'm glad everyone whose family are here as well. Let's see, a couple announcements. Prayer chaplains pray every evening at 8 p.m. and we invite you to join us. The May affirmation is, I have the power to change the world. Also, as a reminder, prayer chaplains are available to pray with you after service. Today in the house, I see Bob is one of our prayer chaplains, and I'm a prayer chaplain. So see one of us if you would like prayer after service. Next Sunday is Unity Orlando's 48th anniversary and potluck. So join us after the 11 o'clock service and bring a dish to share. 48 years, that's awesome. By the way, I just wanted to mention that song, all the songs you hear are written by our very own Brian Eichenauer, but that song is so amazing. I'm the purpose of peace. Can you imagine if everyone in the world sang that song, right? We'd have a different world. Yeah, and the glory of God. Okay, sorry. I got distracted. And my husband got back from England. No, not from England. I'm just kidding. He's been here 30 years. No, he's back. His arm, his shoulder, whatever is better, sort of. Yay, I'm glad you're here. Okay, I have a little story to tell you. Whoops, I lost it because it's Mother's Day. So these are some things that my mother taught me. So my mother taught me to appreciate a job well done. And she said, if you're going to kill each other, do it outside because I just cleaned the house. My mother also taught me about religion. You better pray that comes out of the carpet. My mother taught me about time travel. If you don't straighten up, I'm going to knock you back into the middle of next week. My mom taught me about logic. Because I said so, that's why. And my mother taught me more logic. If you fall out of that swing and break your neck, you're not going to go to the store with me. My mother also taught me about foresight. Make sure you wear clean underwear in case you're in an accident. That's the least of my worries, I think. My mother taught me about irony. Keep crying and I'll give you something to cry about. My mother taught me about the science of osmosis. Shut your mouth and eat your dinner. My mother taught me about contortionism. Will you look at the dirt on the back of your neck? And last but not least, my mother taught me about stamina. You sit there until all your spinach is gone. And with that, oh, whoops, I forgot. Reverend Bob's lesson today is drawing the good out of people. So that should be very interesting. I don't know if he means draw. You never know. You never know. Is it drawing or drawing, right? Or a little of both. Anyway, stay tuned. And I'm going to turn it over to Brian.
However, you did forget one. Remember, I have eyes in the back of my head. Yeah. That just made me stop and look and wonder, like, what? Always good on a car drive. That was usually a car drive. Yeah, got eyes in the back of my head. All right, so here's a song. Since we're talking about love and the love of nurturing mother, I thought it was good to bring this song out called Love Conquers All. All when you're alone, afraid in the dark, love will light the way. When you get lost, it brings you back to the path. When love slips away, light will remain in place of what passes, abundantly proclaim. Loving lies the way. saved, singing out real strong with the strength of its love and all of its glory. And then I hear a song, all of its words flowing through me, and I abundantly proclaim how grateful I am. When the darkness falls, love will ignite a flame. When you shine your light, let it shine bright, with a smile from deep within. All. When you're alone, afraid in the dark, love will light the way. When you get lost, it leads you back to the path. But when love slips away, light will remain in place of what passes, abundantly proclaim. Love lights the way. Ooh. Love lights the way. Ooh. Love lights the way.
That was wonderful. Wonderful way to start this service in particular. And John, I see you still know how to do your guitar solos. Welcome back. Okay. I guess it's summer, huh? Happy Mother's Day. To all of you at home, to all of you who are here. Did you all who are here, did you get your rose? The mothers all the ladies are supposed to get a rose. Yeah, so you say, well, I'm not a mother. Well, if you're female, it will be demanded of you that you mother somebody. So please take a rose. We want to honor you. And for you at home, this is your rose. It's a virtual rose. Would all the mothers in the congregation stand up so we can give you a round of applause? You at home, stand up. Oh, it's wonderful to honor you today because motherhood is certainly a role worth honoring. Having a child, a long time ago, I figured out watching my friends go through it. Having a child is a spiritual experience. Literally, pregnancy molds the person going through it. It kind of takes you and redoes you a little bit. It's amazing to watch. And then you'd think it would be over, right? But raising a child literally alters your value for year after year after year after year. It's really a continuing experience. And motherhood awakens love on a whole new level than you've probably ever experienced it before. So, thank you for doing all of this. In our society, it's often the mother who takes on the most responsibility in raising and sometimes even providing for the children. You know, single mothers do it all, right? And in a family setting, the mother often carries the majority of the child rearing. I know a few exceptions. I know a few very successful role reversals where the woman's out making a living and the guy's at home taking care of the kids, but we'll save that praise for Father's Day. There's a lot of work, nurturing, expense, and sacrifice to raising a child. Much less several of them. No one does it perfectly. And I don't know a mother out there that doesn't feel a little guilty thinking she must have done something wrong. You didn't. You did the best you could. And whatever level that you fulfilled your role at was a real act of love. The mother ends up giving up things for her children that she really would have liked to have had. And then she ends up loving that child all of its life. So, to all the mothers out there, we say, we love you, we bless you, and we truly appreciate the sacrifices you have made to bear and to raise your children. Thank you. When I was a wee little boy, do I sound Irish enough to you? A wee lad, okay. Well, see, there's a problem. I spent the vast majority of my life thinking I was 90% English. And then I did this stupid 23andMe thing. And it says I'm more like 90% Scotch-Irish. Never mind. John no longer likes me. Enough of this. The story is that when I was a little boy, my mother told me over and over, she said, "You're special, Bobby." And that was long before that term took on a negative meaning. You're special. You're going to do great things. Little toddler, you're special. You're going to do great things. She told it to me all the time. And as I grew up, she was a graphoanalyst. That is, she studied handwriting analysis. So she taught me when I sign my name, put a line under it to express self-esteem. Something I do to this very day. My point is, mothers work hard to draw the best out of their children. So today's title is Drawing the Good Out of People. That's what I chose for today. Now, I'm going to depart from my usual format just a little bit, because I'm going to quote extensively, that is, read extensively from the writings of Emily Cady. First, her book, Lessons in Truth, and then How I Use Truth to get my points across. Please understand, this was written almost 125 years ago. It still applies absolutely today. Now, I'm going to go back to the original printing of Lessons in Truth. She had in it a section on telepathy, and I'm going to use that as the basis behind where we're, as the jumping off point, okay? Now, when I was in school back in the 70s, yeah, the 1970s, not the 1870s, I know. When I was in school back in the 70s out at Unity Village, someone got the bright idea. They had dug out and found the old original plates from the original printing of the first printing of Lessons in Truth, which was written by Emily Cady and was Unity's textbook for well over 100 years. I mean, we still will refer to it today as our basic textbook, Lessons in Truth. So they printed up this vast number of them to send out to all the Daily Word describers as a free gift. If you have in your library a paperback blue copy of Lessons in Truth, it's like gold, because they got rid of it shortly thereafter. No one read it. They didn't realize that it had been edited since then, and there were several concepts that got taken out as they were deemed, people might misuse this, so let's take this out. So I happen to have one of those blue copies, which, by the way, they made disappear after they discovered it. I think she took a swipe at the Catholics, too, and stuff like that, so it would alienate different people. Anyway, you know, the little passage on astral projection disappeared, even though she said that is not what you're shooting for. You're shooting for entering into the presence of God, you know. But in either case, there were a number of edits that took place from the original version. I'm going to share with you from the original version a piece that I often will teach when I teach the class on the forbidden writings of Unity. Here we go. From the original printing. People can so project the silent thought of their own mind out through space to another mind that the latter can inwardly hear or receive the message. It is called telepathy. It's written 125 years ago. You can make other people hear in this silent way. And you can make them do what you command, but you have no moral right to use the power of thought transference to cause anyone to carry out any plan which you might make for them. Okay, this is why they got rid of it. You may think your neighbor rich and may silently send him thoughts to give something to some good cause. You may feel justified in silently sending your thought into another's mind to cause him to go to a prayer meeting or some good place because you desire him to lead a moral, upright life. Beware how you use this power of thought transference on your neighbor. Though it may seem to your mortal mind as though the thing you want him to do is the only right thing for him, you cannot know. For only the spirit within a man can know for himself. You have no right to interpose yourself between him and the God of his own soul. And here we go. The only right you have to use the power of thought transference on another is to call out the divine self of him, saying to him silently, God lives in you. He guides all your actions. In Unity, we shorten that up. We say, I behold the Christ in you. I behold the Christ in you. That's how to use telepathy. Now, as parents, we're often tempted to try to make our children do what we think they should to succeed. But there's a higher form of support that we need to give them. And if not your children, it's our friends and our family. We getting that straight? It just went off. Okay, there's a higher form of support. Here we go. In how I used truth. A dear young friend was placed in my care. This is Emily Cady telling her experience. He was just entering onto a life of drinking and dissipation. There were weeks of awful anxiety as I saw him drinking day by day before he reached the place where I could loose him and let him go. Loose him and let him go. When I did reach that place and stood there steadfastly in spite of appearances, in spite of how it appeared, it required only a few hours to see him so fully healed that although 40 years have passed, he has yet to touch a drop of liquor or indulge in any form of dissipation since that time. I've often wanted her to define that word dissipation, but anyway, we'll leave it at that. What is she saying? When your human efforts don't work, all that's left is to put them in God's hands and trust. Whether it's your friend, your mate, children, your parents, sisters and brothers. Doesn't matter who it is. When your human efforts don't work, all that's left is put them in God's hands and trust. Let go of trying so hard to make it work for someone else. Instead, what I'm going to suggest is that you give the gift of independence. That's kind of what Emily Cady was talking about when she said, no one has the right to stand between you and your God. You have the right to conduct your life any way you want. Now, you do not have the right to drag other people down with you while you do. And I'm going to try to clear that one up. My parents taught me independence. One of the things I value most that I was taught out of my childhood was that I was allowed to walk my own path, even into places they disapproved. They wouldn't necessarily physically support me or even tell me they thought it was a good idea, but hey, it's your life. You have the right to live it the way you want to. You have the right to fail. You have the right to fall down and skin your knees. And how I use truth, Emily says, no one has any right to coerce another to accept his ideal. Every person has the right to keep his own ideal until he desires to change it. Okay, that's the first half. Now let's talk the second, because mothers have a hard time with the second half. The second half goes like this, and this is me now. I'm not quoting Emily. I will in a minute. No one, child, friend, sibling, parent, or stranger, has the right to demand your physical support for unwise behavior. This is not a blank check to say, you got to support me in being stupid. We ain't doing that. Independence means it's on you, and not that others must support you in it. Each must take responsibility for what he chooses to do. That's independence. I said mothers have a hard time with this. Patty and Paul were colluding, trying to get a little input from Ronnie on a certain subject, and sure, something that is. And the point was, came back and said, you know, you need to work on self-worth. And what came through following that was, mothers tend to take responsibility for their children's failures. And that is a type of lack of self-worth that is unique to motherhood. I find that intriguing. I don't know how many people I've had to say, you did as good as you could raising your kid. You can't take responsibility for what they've done since. Oh, you can take credit. If they've done good, take all the credit you want. But everyone is an independent being with their own assignment in this life, their own soul to answer to. So, my point, there is a time when helping becomes enabling irresponsible behavior. I tried so hard to avoid the subject of tough love on Mother's Day, but I think it's one that needs to be addressed. Withholding physical support is sometimes the greatest assistance you can give to someone. You're demanding that they take responsibility for themselves and become independent. So now I'm going to quote Emily Cady. It takes an infinitely greater, more godlike love to stand still and see your loved one burn his hand a little, that he may gain self-knowledge, than it does to be a bondslave to him, ever on the alert to prevent the possibility of his learning through a little suffering. Woo! Emily Cady was old school. Problem is, so am I. But let's not stop there. We said you're going to love this person your entire life. I didn't say you were ever going to stop loving them. So, what can I do to draw the good out of someone around me? Whether it be my child, my friend, my mate, a stranger. Whoever it is, what can I do? If you're telling me that physical support is sometimes, and this is a judgment call, you've got to make it, is sometimes not the most helpful thing. Emily Cady says in How I Use Truth, you say, is there nothing I can do when I see my husband, my brother, my friend going down? Yes, there's something you can do, and a very effectual something too. You can, whenever you think of your friend, speak the word of freedom to him. You can always and in all ways loose him and let him go. Put him in God's hands and trust. You can tell him mentally that Christ lives within him and makes him free. You can tell him that he manifests the Holy One wherever he goes and at all times, for there is nothing else to manifest. And then you see to it that you do not recognize any other manifestation than good in him. Now I'm going to condense that down and maybe give it a slightly different twist and say, possibly the most important thing you can do for someone in a downward cycle is to say aloud to them and silently over and over as your prayer, I believe in you. I believe in you. Now, believing in them does not mean that you're there to enable unwise behavior. It means you believe that the highest within them can and will express through them, and you hold that vision for them. Remember, all minds are connected. They can feel that vision. So, we want to explore some spiritual ways that we can draw the best out of people, whether they're family, friends, co-workers, adversaries, or strangers. How do you handle the lot of them? Everybody around us. And I'm going to do scriptures first. Psalm 55:22. Cast your worries upon God, and he will sustain you. If you got a problem with someone, or you're worried about someone, put them in God's hands and trust. That's, quite frankly, the most important and strongest thing you can do. Romans 12:21. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Now we're moving into dealing with difficult people in your life. You radiate goodness to draw goodness out of people. Remember, the world would be so much better off if I could just set everybody straight. That isn't what the world needs. I know we all think it is. No. You radiate goodness if you want goodness back. Give what you want to receive. And Jesus carries that almost to a fault in Matthew 5:44. I say to you, love your enemies. Bless anyone who curses you. Do good to anyone who hates you. And pray for those who carry you away by force and persecute you. What's he saying? He's saying surround difficult people in love and good feelings in order to draw good out of them, in order to have the best result that you can get out of this situation. In Romans 13:12. Let us cast off the works of darkness. Let us put on the armor of light. Surround loved ones in love for protection. Surround challenging people in light to draw the good out of them, so you can tolerate them. Surround them in light. So quickly, I'm going to wrap it together and do 5 ways to spiritually draw goodness out of the people around you. Number 1, you say, I put you in God's hands. I put you in God's hands. This can be someone you love. It can be an adversary. It can be a friend. It can be someone you're worried about, or it can be someone you really can't stand. But in either case, you need to put them in God's hands and trust Spirit to draw the goodness out of them. 2, you need to tell them, I believe in you, and I know you'll make it true. I believe in you. I'm not going to deny where you are or what you've done, but I believe in you. That's the type of love we're talking about. You say it silently and aloud over and over. I see the goodness in you. And I see you succeeding in life. All minds are connected. You want to help? Put these thoughts in their mind. I see you succeeding in life. The third practice is to simply surround them in light. We need to surround the people that we love in light. We need to see their lives deeply blessed. Lindsay was an ice skater. It's a little girl. They try to, ice skating ranks right in there with football. I know you think not, but the ice is a lot harder than the grass, and they fall down on it constantly. And one time in the middle of a competition, she didn't get back up. Her coach went out there and picked her up and carried her off the ice. And she had a broken ankle. After that, when I went to a competition, I took to, every time I saw her out on the ice, I saw a column of light coming down and surrounding her wherever she went. That was my way of participating. And when Karen would be over there next to me saying, oh, she's going to fall, I'd say, shut up. I'd put extra effort into that column of light. So those that you love, one of the strongest things you can do for them is to surround them in light on a regular basis, maybe every day. Now let's go to the other side of the spectrum and talk about the challenging people in your life. You got to surround them in light too. You want to draw the light out of them because that's the way you would like to relate to them. We all are children of God. We all have this phenomenal light inside of us. And by surrounding them in the light of God, that's a way of loosing them and letting them go, as Emily Cady would have said it. Putting them in God's hands. You're seeing God light around them. So the people you hate, and I'm hoping that's a strong term and no one actually goes there. The people who annoy you to no end, you surround them in light. And you do it over and over. You do it every night and or morning until things improve. Now, an aspect of that is the fourth practice. Bringing up an image of them in mind and saying, I love you, I bless you, and I release you. What are you releasing? your negative image of them. You have this image that they are, you fill in the blank, and it's probably not very nice. Let it go. That's what you're saying. I am willing to let go of my image of you being a negative person. I love you, I bless you, and I release you. I've told it over and over, but years ago, a friend of mine came to me to counsel about her mother-in-law. Remember that one? Suzanne came to me and said, for 9 years, my mother-in-law has done everything she can to make my life miserable. I was never good enough for her son. She seems to hate me. I have tried everything in the world. I've tried confronting her. I've tried doing everything she says. I've tried ignoring it. I've tried, whatever. She said, if there is a technique out there, I've tried it. Is there anything spiritually I can do? And I said, oh, yes, there is. Every night in meditation, I want you to bring up the image of your mother-in-law. And I want you to say, I love you, I bless you, and I release you. She said, I got to say I love her? Is there anything else I can do? I said, no, actually, there's not. Okay. And several months later, I asked her what happened. She said, I did what you said for quite a long time, and I don't know when the change started to take place, but I can tell you, today we have the best relationship. We have a wonderful relationship. I would say that after 9 years, it was because on a nightly basis, she radiated to her, I love you, I bless you, and I let you go. I release you. The last one is Unity's most classic. I behold the Christ in you. We're meant to behold the Christ in every human being we meet. We're meant to know that that same Christ light that is inside of us is shining through all of them, even though some of them are behaving badly. They have that Christ light in the center of their being, and we can call to it, and we can try to call it out. We try to see their soul underneath that personality. If you're having an issue with someone, you can ask your Christ self to work it out with their Christ self. My higher self, commune with their higher self and do whatever needs to be done. And you behold the highest expressing through the person. This is where Emily Cady said you can use that power of thought transference. Behold the highest expressing through them. See the Christ light every day shining through your loved one. Even if they're not seeming to express it right now. If you see it on a daily basis, things will improve. So, let me wrap it up by saying all minds are connected. By seeing the highest within others, we are radiating a spiritual vision that they actually receive. Thus, we're encouraging them to let their highest shine through them. Mothers seem to know how to do this almost intuitively, but we all need to master it. Sometimes having someone who believes in you is all you need to cast off the darkness and put on the armor of light. Let's close our eyes and go into meditation. Be still. Be still. And love the stillness. The voice from deep within you calls from the center of your being, be still and know that I am God. I am the presence within you, loving you intensely. So feel yourself there, immersed in God's presence. There within your heart where you think you're alone. You are not alone. For the Spirit of God is right there within you, comforting you, loving you, guiding you. There to constantly urge you to higher ground. So feeling that loving presence within, let go and put your life in God's hands. I let go. I trust God with my life, all of it. Then think of someone that you love who's having a hard time. And put them in God's hands. And as you do, let go and trust that God is in charge and all is well. Put them in God's hands. That's where they're safest. Now think of someone you have a problem with. Remember, they have that Christ within them also. So for a moment, behold the Christ in them. That light at the center of their being. See it permeating out through the darkness of personality. that light infusing itself into their lives. Happy people do not make other people unhappy, so with compassion, we surround them in light. We surround them in love. We say, I love you. I bless you. And I release you from the negative image I have held of you. You do not have to be that person going forward. I let you go from that perception. And I call forth the higher self within you. My higher self. I ask it now to commune with yours, your higher self. Now think of your family members, and with a great deal of love and joy, surround each one in light. And to each one say, I believe in you. You can get through whatever you're facing, and I see the highest within you, shining through you and through your life. And one last time now, think of your mother. Whether she's still here in the earth or gone beyond, think of your mother and surround her in light and love. And know with certainty she receives it. Father, thy will be done through each and every one of us. Thy will be done through us. Amen. And if the usher will come forward, we'll prepare for our offering. For those of you at home, if you're new and you'd like to share your offering to truly be part of this Unity Orlando, then if you have to go to the homepage following service, you can hit Donate Now and use a credit card or PayPal. You can pull off our address and mail us a check, or you can use Zelle, but you've got to use our email with the Zelle. It's unityorlando@gmail.com. Or call the office and work it out with Linda. It all works. Well, let's hold our offering in our hands, or at least the thought of what we're going to give if you're at home. Let's affirm together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. Thank you, God. Amen.
peacefulness. I feel Spirit put my mind at rest. Then all at once I called God's name, and I'm filled with peacefulness again. And then I sit and think about thoughtfulness. Good thoughts reverberate through my head. Then all at once I hear God's name, and I hear the world and it wants the same. Like me and you, like many people do, we live and love the same. That is, if we choose to. This world revolves around what's true, and this world is special because of you. And then I sit and think about folks I've met. A few come to mind, but some stand out from the rest. Then all at once God calls to me. Everyone is special, look around and see. Like me and you, like many people do, we live and love the same. That is, if we choose to. This world revolves around what's true, and this world is special because of you. Like me and you, like many people do, we live and love the same. That is, if we choose to. This world revolves around what's true, and this world is special because of you. This world depends upon things you do, and this world is special because of you. Because of you. Because of you. Because of you. Because of you.
That was wonderful. Excellent end of the service. I particularly liked having back dueling guitars and flutes.
That's true rock and roll.
Yeah, we.
Rock and roll, right?
Oh, and the singers were wonderful also. I love the drumming. Do I need to praise you too, Brian? I mean, he wrote it. You're all wonderful, and you know I approve of all of you. I believe in you. I actually do. For all of you out there, I believe in you too. You're my family, my spiritual companions on this journey. I believe in the highest within each and every one of you. Where are we? Next Sunday. If you came in late, you're hearing it for the first time. If you're hearing it for the second, make sure you note it. Next week is 48th Annual Church Anniversary and Potluck. This is a big event for this church every year. I will go over the history of the church and then I will try to work a miracle and do a shorter lesson. But in either case, we will cover the history of the church. We've got a couple other things going on. We'll have the potluck after the 11 a.m. service. So if you come to 9:15, just come back. Join us about 12:15, 12:30, 12:15. Then you get to the food first, since I'll probably go overtime. In either case, bring some food to share after the 11 a.m. service. My topic next week is group mind. Group mind. Okay? And let's all rise and end this service with prayer of protection. Together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless you all.